Hello, hello, good morning. I'm so happy to be here with you. So glad to be joining you. My name is Viola. This is Viola Ignites, and today is day 5 of 28 Sparks to Catch Fire. And we've been in the parable of talents from Matthew 25. We've been in this parable all week and 2 more days, and we're done with it. And today we're looking at the master's verdict. And we want to figure out, what did he actually reward? Like, we know who got rewarded, we know who didn't, but what was the assessment? What was the evaluation? What was the criteria, right? So let's go. That's our day today, all right? So still in Matthew 25, and we know the master gives only 2 responses to three servants, all right? So in verse 21, he says, "Well done, good and faithful servant." You know, that's what he said to the person who had 5 talents and the person who had 2 talents. And then he says to the person who had 1 talent, "You wicked and lazy servant." So it sounds to me like it was no middle ground. It was pass or fail. It was there's no middle ground, like, so there's no good effort, right? There's no you tried. There's no, okay, I see where you were going. No, there's none of that. It is, you did it or you didn't, all right? You passed or you failed. No middle ground. And here's what I need you to see in all of this, right? What was his marking scheme? Like, what was the master's criteria, right? What was he looking for to determine if it was well done, if a person was a good and faithful servant? Because I think if you understand the principle, then you see how you align, or where you need to make some amendments, right? Where you need to make some changes. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going. One thing that's really clear is that the master was not rewarding the servants who had the most, because the 5 talent servant, he heard, well, I shouldn't say the 5 talent servant heard, "Well done." The 2 talent servant also heard, "Well done." Same response, right, from the master, and they both had different amounts, right? And they both produced different returns on their investment. Okay, so it doesn't seem like the master cared how much the servants started out with. I think it's clear that the master cared what was done with what was given to each servant. All right, so another thing, when you look at verse 16, it says the person who received 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. All right, and the master rewarded 4 things. Okay, I think we can pull out 4 things that the master zones in on and rewards. And I think that every single one of them is a principle. It's a principle for life. All right, number 1. Even as we just read verse 16, immediate action. The 5 talent person, the 2 talent person, it seems like they got to work quickly, right? They went out at once. And I think that that's a principle. Like, the decisive action really beats perfect planning anytime, any day, anywhere, right? Another thing is faithful stewardship, right? And we see this, right? That they traded with them. They put them to work, all right? And in fact, the master calls them faithful servants. So there's this, I want us to kind of think about this, that there's a reward for faithfulness. And what that means in this context is you're doing with what you have, not perfection with what you wish you had, which it's only in your mind that you can create perfection. But what you have in your hand, how are you stewarding it? The gifts you have right now, how are you stewarding them? Number 3, faith over fear, right? Risk taking, okay? risk taking. So we know that that's rewarded because it takes faith to engage with risk. And these servants, they did something risky. They engaged with the full talents that they were given, right? So it seems like the master was rewarding that, right? The master was rewarding their courage. The master was rewarding their risk taking. The master was rewarding faith. The master was rewarding faith. Because the contra is true, the other person who did not engage in any, didn't take any risk, didn't deploy any faith, was not commended. All right. All right. So and then lastly, this idea of fruitfulness, right? The fact that the 5-talent person, the 2-talent person, they made more than what they had, right? They bore much fruit. They ended up with more than they started with, more than was given to them. I think that that's a principle, that you should so steward what you're given that it should grow, right? Now, as I was thinking about this, one of the things that I wanted to just kind of speak to, because I just sensed that it could come up in some of our hearts, is that this does not require some grand move, right? Most of you who are listening to me are not planning some trip to space on a rocket ship, right? You're not planning some trip to the moon. So we're not talking about some grand move, right? And I don't even think that that's what's required of us, all right? In the parable, the master just said, trade with what you have, right? So for most of us, I think the invitation is simple. It's quite simple. For some, it could be write the paragraph, start the blog, okay? Start writing on Medium. I don't know, okay? Make the call, all right? Post the content. I mean, it's 2026, so post the content, all right? Start with what's already in your hand. Use your voice, right? Use your hands, right? Write that song, record that song. But you're not waiting until, the 2-talent servant was not waiting until he had 5, okay? He too set out at once with the 2 talents that he had, okay? So I just wanted to just kind of level set this because it's important. If we are going to be ignited, if we're going to make bold moves, we need to come at it with the right mindset. Okay. All right. So this will be quick because I think now you see it. So you cannot not see it. The 1-talent servant violated all 4 of these principles. He did not act immediately. That servant was definitely not faithful as a steward with what he had been given. All right. That servant definitely did not operate in any faith, right? No risk taken, buried. And we know this, we know the parable, definitely didn't multiply what they had received. Okay, so we know the excuse too. I was afraid, and so I went and hid the talent. I dug a hole in the ground and hid the talent. And we know what the master's response was. You're wicked, you're lazy, all right? And so the master cuts through all of that excuse and says, fear is not an acceptable reason for your inaction. It's not. So here's your spark. Here's your spark. Based on the criteria that we can pull from this parable, if the master were to evaluate your life, just based on that, these 4 principles, if the master were to assess what you're doing with what you've been given, not your intentions, not your plans, not what's on your vision board in your journal book that you're not working towards, what would the master say? I want you to write down 4 things to kind of get you moving. Number one, immediate action. What have I been delaying that I need to start today? What is it? Number two, faithful stewardship. It's high on the list, right? So what have I been given that I need to put to work this week, this month, this quarter, this year? What have I been given that I need to put to work? Number three, faith over fear. What have I been protecting that I need to take to market, that I need to risk, that I need to operate in faith? About what is it? And then lastly, number four, fruitfulness. What have I been given that I have kept stagnant, that really needs to grow, to blossom, to bloom? And I just invite you to answer honestly. Answer honestly and then move. Answer honestly and then be ignited. Because I don't think the master's criteria has changed. I think the master still rewards action, still rewards stewardship, still rewards faith, still rewards fruitfulness, still condemns delay, unfaithfulness, fear, stagnation. I don't think the criteria has changed. And so the question becomes, what response do you want? My reminder to you is your life has weight. My encouragement to all of us is that we want to live like our lives have weight. We need to be ignited and to live like our lives have weight. So that's day 5. I'm going to stop right there. I don't want to end without wishing my brother a very happy birthday. My darling brother he has a birthday today, and I'm just so excited and proud of him and of the season that he's in. All right, please like, please share this video, please subscribe so you know when the daily gets published, and I must say a sincere thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you. Thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you on day 6, and we're going to be talking about the lies that keep us from moving, the lies that keep us from fruitfulness. All right, we'll still be in Matthew 25. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.